especially those of y'all who are rhyming, the culture, the industry. The culture, the industry, and how do we get the culture back in the industry? Because I'm not saying that you shouldn't make money. You want to make a living at what you do, don't you? So, can you talk about that? No. Anyone?
Go on, Jake.
Culture's a way of life. It's a movement.
Do you want the mic?
No, I'm alright.
Go on, Jake. Okay.
Culture's a way of life. Hip-hop culture's a way of life. It's
Yes,
a movement, and that's what it came from. The industry is the partial exploitation of that.
Wow.
Culture is a way of life. The industry, hip-hop industry, is the partial exploitation of that culture. Wow. Anyone else? And when you say, can you break it down? When you say exploitation, you know, and I'm thinking about what has been exploited?
Yeah, it's as you said, it's taking a culture, turning it into a product, a commercial enterprise.
Now we're talking about capitalism.
The reason I say partial is because there are people out there controlling their own destiny, and the culture still exists on the underground.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And you still got MCs like KRS-One doing their thing. You know what I mean? But then the mainstream, what we see and what we're exposed to on the TV and so on and so forth, that's the industry side of it. That's the money-making side of it, and that's what affects the stuff the kids are listening to today. That's what affects what they write and what they feel hip-hop is, and it also affects the people who are still living the culture because they get labeled with the same brush. So,
because people throw the word hip-hop out there for everything, right?
There's no such thing as hip-hop industry anymore.
No, but the internet, like, democracy, it's like, the internet is the democracy, the way I see it. We've seen, I don't know, how to put it really, labels are irrelevant now. They are irrelevant. If you want to be the sort of person who only watches TV and, like, only listens to the radio and get lowest the common denominator music, then that's your shout, that's your prerogative. But like, I'm 26 this year. Like, I'm 25. I'm still like, obviously I couldn't imagine life without like Facebook and YouTube. But kids growing up, they had that attached since birth. So that's completely what they're growing up with. There's no dictation of how this is what you should listen to anymore. Because mainstream culture is, I feel, irrelevant. At least it will be relevant in 10 years. And this is why I'm an optimist about the future of like any music scene. Because all you need now is the talent and a YouTube channel and everyone who deserves to hear you, like, or you want to get out there will hear you. So it's like, for me, it's like, that's like, it's new punk rock, it's new underground hip hop. It's the fact we have something now where you don't need to sit there for 3 hours making mixtapes in your basement. You can literally just put a YouTube channel out there and get your own like shows together. Do you know what I mean? That's just for me, anyway. So I'm an optimist about it. I know obviously what you're saying is an issue. The UK is a much smaller place, and obviously there's not quite as much money poured into those avenues. And like it does relate obviously to Steve. Like there's a reason why like these companies pour money into like artists that will like glamorize the idea of extreme capitalism because they've got a stake in it. Do you know what I mean?
The young crowd. Every industry, every big industry is after the young crowd. All of you in here are worth a lot of money to big business because they want your attention.
That's an excellent point. Excellent point. When I was at Vibe magazine back in the day, they said to us the target market was like 13 to 30. That's pretty much all of you in this room. And it's interesting, when I first started writing for Vibe magazine, we would, like the Tupac articles were long, they were like 6,000 words. Within 2 years, you know what the business side of the magazine said to me? Oh, we have to shorten the articles. The young readers don't want to read that. I was like, did you take a poll of the young readers? No. But they wanted to get more ads into the magazine, you know, so they could sell you more stuff. My question, because you raised it's an excellent point. I agree. The internet is a space where we can actually do our own thing. That is a democracy. But how do you maintain levels of excellence? Like,
talent speaks for itself, always.
But how do you hone it? Because, like, you know, I'm thinking of. Let's look at some periods. Let's get hop for a second, and not just hip hop. Like in hip hop in America, we call it like 1985 to 1995, like the golden era of hip hop. We had all this different kind of stuff happening. If you go to Jamaica in the 1970s, you not just had Bob Marley, you had Peter Tosh, you had Jacob Miller, you had this incredible reggae explosion. The British invasion, you know what I mean? You had some dynamic music come out of there. My question, even if you just look at the Beatles were basically a boy band, weren't they? Mm-hmm. They were a boy band, but because of a dedication to excellence, they evolved into, wow. You feel what I'm saying? So the question for you all, you can start with is like, even with all these distractions going on, how do you all maintain excellence? You know? How do you become excellent at what you do? Whatever it is you choose to do, anyone in this room, how do you become excellent at it?
Repetition.
Repetition?
Yeah, like in the kind of documentary, it's like repetition is key. Repetition is the boss of learning. and then you have to repeat it, and then it gets embedded in your brain.
Wow. Repetition. You want anyone? Yes.
Like people are gonna like remember like where they came from. Because like what's like the vast majority of the people, they'll be happy to sit down and be fed what they think is sufficient enough for them to get by, but really they just follow a trend, and like people find it difficult to like go out and do something themselves because it's easier to sit back and think you're doing something you've just been told it. So like people gotta remember like not with just music but anything. So I mean you gotta remember like you gotta put yourself to it, and like sometimes even though it's easier to follow something else, you gotta make your own choices in life. Do you know what I mean? But I think what the problem is, lots of people don't have support. I mean, because it's easier to just do your own thing and leave everyone else behind. But really, you should be looking out for those other people, because at the end of the day, when you're gone, they're going to be left. So they don't want to be left with bullshit that's found in the news.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because then it's just going to be sheep everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Who will they follow and no one knows to run off the cliff? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like people need to be examples of that. I'm not saying they have to be like huge nationwide examples, like you standing here, yeah, that's an example. Do you know what I mean? So like hopefully people today, they can walk home and they can start thinking, look when you came and how I can do this. But what it is, I think the problem is, there's not many people like that. The people, they grab a pen for themselves, think, you. Do you know what I mean? But really, those people are you. Do you know what I mean? You've got to remember where you came from.
Nice.
Regardless.
So